going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2Times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, welcome back. Y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. The allure of street life has fascinated most young men for generations. That thought of being the one that survives everything and becoming the top dog. No matter how many stories we hear of kingpins, gangs, robbers, or scammers getting killed or decades in prison, with about 1% that make it out and are successful, in your mind at a young age, you might feel like, I'm gonna do it better. Even if your plan is not to be a trapper forever, you might be short on bread, trying to figure something out. The right thing to do is try to go get a job and work for it. But depending on where you come from, honestly, most teens can go get an ounce of grass or a blick quicker than they can get a job. So now you make that decision to jump into a game. You might say, I'm gonna play it fair, not create enemies, never cross nobody. That way, everybody will cop from me and I won't make enemies. But in that concrete jungle, we call the block, trap, or streets, depending on what part of the world you come from, is always people that are plotting, looking for a come up. We never think what could go wrong until it goes wrong. And by that time, it's too late. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we will be taking it to Linwood, Pennsylvania to discuss a trap deal for a half a pound of grass that took a turn for the worse. Back in 2021, Nasir Allen was an 18-year-old young man trying to navigate through life. Like most young men, he hung out with friends, rode dirt bikes, and was trying to figure out his next steps out here in this world. Nasir was stated to be a good kid who wasn't perfect, but at 18, looking for a way to make some bread. Jameer Council was another young man, 22 years old, that lived in Chester, Pennsylvania. His homie Zamir Jones was the same age and lived in Wilmington, Delaware. The two areas not far from each other, the two friends often linked up to kick back and see what they could get into. Jameer, Zamir, and Nasir didn't all hang in the same circles, but had mutual associates. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2021, the two homies decided they would call Nasir's people to cop some grass. They went to a local Wawa's on 1439 Market Street in Linwood. Jameer and Zamir made the call and stated they wanted a half pound, in which they agreed they would pay a stack for it, or $1,000. The two homies waited patiently for the plug to pull up so they could get right. Not long after, a red Toyota Corolla pulled up with Nasir and two of his homies inside, who we will call G and Mac. Jameer walked up to the whip and got in the back seat. He asked for the grass, then passed over a stack of cash, told the man he would catch them later, and tried to get out the car. But before he could exit, one of the men peeped the money, looked weird, and the count was short. They attempted to stop Jameer from getting out before a shot went off, striking G in the back. This caught Nasir off guard, forcing him to hop out the car as well. Seconds later, more shots went off, and two men took off running. Mac realized both his homies had been shot, G in the back and Nasir multiple times. Witnesses at the gas station called local police, who arrived to the scene about 2:30 p.m. G was rushed to a local hospital in stable condition, but unfortunately, Nasir was pronounced gone on the scene. Mac was questioned, and other people that witnessed the shooting, in which it was stated they came to meet two young men to sell something, and once they realized it was all a finesse, shots went off. Detectives got surveillance video from the store. It showed the man standing inside the store, pacing while on the phone. A second man posted outside. The man in the store was identified as Zamir. When the car with Nasir in it pulled up, Jameer got inside to cop the product. Not a minute later, G got out the car to try to stop Jameer from leaving with the grass, before Zamir peeped they got caught and allegedly shot once, hitting G in the back. Nasir hopped out. Jameer, who had took off on feet by this time, before allegedly Zamir started shooting some more before running himself to catch up with his homie, hitting a Sid. The whole case was pointed to as a drug deal gone bad and a young man who lost his life over $1,000 worth of grass. While local police were on the hunt for the two men, family and friends had a celebration of life for Nasir. Then on January 25th, 2022, the U.S. Marshals found Zamir in Delaware and took him into custody on charges of criminal homicide, first, second, and third degree hit, attempt, conspiracy to commit robbery, and aggravated assault. He was extradited back to Pennsylvania and held without bail. 3 months later, Jamil was jammed up in a motel in Chester, Pennsylvania, and charged with the same charges. He waived his arraignment. At this time, the case hasn't made its way to trial yet, and both young men are innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to Nasir. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. I'm not sure who was trying to catch the $1,000 play, Nasir, G, or Mac, but to them, that might have seemed like petty money, depending on how they were moving. That's the thing about the streets. You could be having your way out here, getting a bag. So to you, a certain amount might seem petty. But then you might have another group of dudes in another part of town that don't care if it's $20. They want that because they are not in the same position as you. When I was younger, I was definitely like that. We did a lot of cruddy things, thinking a little $500 was a come up. Thankfully, it never went this far. But $1,000, a half pound of grass at 22 years old can't change nothing about your circumstances. Now one young man is gone, his two homies gotta live with that trauma, and two other young men are facing life in prison over something that's legal almost everywhere right now. I'm sure when Nasir hopped in that whip that day, he didn't think anything about it. But that's how it usually be. You never know what other people are on. So remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, crazy story, man. Rest in peace to that young man. This situation right here happened so much all over. And like I said, I was in that position before where I thought a few dollars was everything. When you at a certain age, not really thinking too much about it, $1,000 sound like it could change your life. A little half a pound, an 8-ball, anything seemed like it'd be the matter from you eating or starving. But then you go out here, you finesse for it, or you catch a lick for it, and things don't go right. Now you got life in prison over what? A few dollars? Yeah, it ain't worth it, man. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Definitely be respectful. I appreciate y'all if y'all made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This is another episode of Hood Tales. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you subscribe to the channel, definitely hit that notification bell so y'all can be notified every time we drop a video. It's a lot of videos we drop, people saying they not getting notified. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all do that for me. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.